Well, welcome once again to the Ahern Video Podcast. Today we want to talk about merger mania. I received lots of telephone calls, and recently I received a call from one of the reporters from Transport Topics asking for my take on what I think is going to happen in this year, and also asking what are the reasons for the flow of activity. And the bottom line is this: there are no drivers. So capacity is an issue, and it doesn't make any difference where you try to, quote, harvest the drivers. We've got an aging driver population. We have the younger generation that don't necessarily want to be involved in the trucking industry for a multiplicity of reasons. One of the reasons is it's a very hard job. The second reason is the economy is improving. The third reason is nobody likes us. It's what I find so frustrating. We're the most dynamic, most safe, controlled environment in the country. We deliver 60-70% of all the products in the United States. We're first medical emergency responder for catastrophes, yet we still have this stigma. But the bottom line is, the merger mania going to continue, and the answer is yes. And there's a multiplicity of reasons. Number one, capacity is a reason. But a capacity buyer is someone different than a strategic buyer. The number two reason is it's very hard to find intellectual capital. People make companies grow. And if you want to continue to grow your business because you can't stay stagnant, then you need people. If you're a young business trying to grow, surround yourself with people that are much smarter than you. If you're a company that's been around a long time and you want to try and get your growth, try to surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. And number one rule, embrace technology. So from a merger mania standpoint, you've got a capacity issue, which is driving sales. You've got an intellectual capacity issue, which is driving sales. And then you've got the third thing, which is a growth factor. Companies cannot stay stagnant. They cannot stay at the level that they want to stay at. They have to grow. And if they can't grow, then what happens? Now, when you take these three factors into consideration, why are so many companies selling? Well, some never embrace change. The trucking industry is just continues to evolve. I've stated on numerous occasions, 35% of our business today is off the internet. 50% will come off the internet in the next 5 years. So the dynamics and the sales processes that we employ as consultants have changed dramatically. I get calls from business brokers and investment bankers on a frequent basis saying, how are you continuing to stay ahead of the curve? And we have a client. Can you give us some direction on how to help that client? And the point I'm trying to make is that if you're going to represent a client and you're going to take a lot of money from that client expects certain expectations. Make sure that the client's expectations are in line. But the bottom line is, yes, the economy is dictating rapid growth. Yes, the economy is dictating consolidation in the trucking industry. Yes, the economy is dictating that with the driver capacity continuing to get worse, companies will be looking to acquire the driver base. And yes, companies have to continue to grow. Now the question is this going to last forever? As an analyst, I have to say that I think it's great that the economy is rebounding. I think that it's great that the unemployment rate is 5-point-something%. I think it's great that trucking is making record profits if they're doing things the right way. But I caution people that remember that we're a very cyclical business. Remember the economy is very fragile. Remember that as soon as interest rates start going up, things are going to start tightening. Remember where we were in the end of 2008 and 2009 when we went through the second major depression. So as you're continuing to grow, if an acquisition strategy is one of the directions you want to take, one, be careful. Two, make sure that the culture is going to mesh with your ability to continue to grow. And three, don't leverage yourself with too much debt. So in closing, I will say that yes, the market's going to continue to consolidate the next 2 quarters. Yes, there's still a substantial amount of money in the market, both private equity and otherwise, to continue to drive sales. Yes, with the continued driver shortage, you're going to see continued consolidation. But the real question is it going to last? From my perspective, I think with all of these facts that that are available to you, you have to make that conscious decision that are you ready to let go? Are you emotionally prepared to let go? Do you have the next segment of your life planned? Do you really believe that if you sell today, that you're going to be able to live the rest of your life doing nothing? And the answer is, that's why I have so many auditors that work with me that were extremely successful, because you can't just sit idle. So as you're going through this process, as you understand that the market is relatively active, as you understand that there's money out there to be obtained, if you really positioned yourself to sell, the real question is, are you mentally prepared? Are you financially prepared? And what are your goals and objectives on a long-term basis? Until next time, thank you for attending the podcast.